Coming up, we've got a beautiful new slate roof completed, a local remedial repair to a retaining wall.
All this earth has, over the years, been pushing against this wall.
Nick gets an unexpected visit.
Penetrated yourself with the scaffold pole.
And the reason why people don't take on a Grade 2 listed renovation starts to unfold. But first, let's learn how to slate a roof.
Bloody hell, you must have started early.
Yeah, about.
Christ, you're all there. So you can see we've gone for Chinese on the back because it's the neighbour's side, so it don't really matter. And the Chinese is actually the thicker of the two, the heavier, and the slimmer profile is the Canadians. Much more lifespan on a Canadian than there is a Chinese, even though how thick it is. There's a big weight difference there. Normally everything Chinese is thin and flimsy, but it's not in this case. Well, the client wanted Canadians, so that's what we got, Canadians, 5 times the cost. Hence the cost saving on the neighbour's side. It's like giving your neighbour the bad bit of the fence. Let's go around the back, we'll have a little go. Connor, your 5 minutes of fame is teaching me how to slate. So people who say the boss doesn't work, now you're going to see the proofs in the pudding.
Half bond, obviously we're just starting in the middle because you don't want to scramble over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for an idea.
Just like that. Copper nail in that side. Whack it in. Could be a bit rougher than that.
Yeah.
That side.
They're bricks, so you imagine that you wouldn't, like you say, you think they'll just break, wouldn't you? But
Yeah, they're more solid than they look.
and you're overlapping half on that batten, yeah?
Yeah.
Fine.
Right, you measure the first one on your verge.
Yeah.
And then it's all marked out, so you can't really go too wrong. Then you've just got to keep to your lines.
And what about cutting? What about the slate cutter?
So, because we've worked it out,
Yeah.
for full slate, you don't need to cut anything.
Oh, perfect.
So you cut your bottoms, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's an inch and a half outside, inch and a half outside. Don't need to cut anything. Works out perfectly full slates.
And I see on the edge here, you do the cuts.
You cut that so the
angles.
water drains away from, so you don't have water dripping over the verge.
Fine, okay, that makes sense. And if you were doing an older roof where you had to have the cuts, you've got the slate cutter, obviously.
Yeah, so you got guillotine,
Guillotine, yeah.
or
Technical
you've
terms.
got slate cutters
Oh.
if you want to do it by hand, but these are quite fat slates, so you'll be here all day if you're doing it with them.
Learn something new every day. Every day's a school day. Learn at school, kids, and you won't be roofing. Or building, or anything like this. We're in the cold.
Costs a lot to use my face.
I saw his face when we came up. He's like, oh, you know. I'm going to start charging the bricklayers £1 per minute, because every time I come here, have you got a minute? Have you got a minute? Then I'll be loaded and I won't even have to work, will I? They'll pay me.
So as you saw, once the setting out is sorted, the slate roof essentially becomes rinse and repeat. All the tiles are overlapped, which gives us a watertight seal that we need, allowing the water to run off efficiently. Which side do you think looks the best, Chinese or Canadian? Let us know in the comments below.
Elijah's here again. He's always here. Follows me around now. Get the Greg's promo in. Sausage, bean and cheese. My favourite. Let's wander down. So obviously that's now the main roofs, slate-wise, wrapped up on the red brick building and the cottage. The low-level red brick building, as you've seen before, will be pan tiles. Original pan tiles will go back on. And then, whilst we're on the subject of roofs, we'll talk about this new flat roof trusses to go on this section here. Currently stood in the new, what will be the new kitchen, all-electric kitchen. We'll have full set of box trusses spanning from the existing pub over to the blockwork wall behind me, and it'll be a flat with a slight pitch roof, torch felt, with some nice lanterns in above the kitchen and the seating area just by the digger there to allow a lot of natural light in. With it being an all-electric kitchen, we haven't got to go crazy on ducting for ventilation, so the ducting should hopefully sit very nicely behind the parapet wall here rather than going up the elevation, exterior elevation of the red brick building behind us there. So yeah, big space. We'll get this covered in the next couple of weeks and can start doing the new subfloor. So all very exciting stuff. I was saying earlier, if I had £1 for every time you said, have you got a minute? Another £1. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Shout out to FD Plant. With any big renovation project, there's always a lot of new materials coming in, but on the flip side, there's also a lot of old materials that need to be taken away. With Tyler making a fool of himself, it's down to the boys to finish off levelling out the blockwork, ready to get these flat roof trusses on.
Yeah.
Hold up, my fingers.
Oh, yeah.
Hold up, wait a minute, turn that way.
Lovely.
Another little job we are doing in the lovely Sudborough is on this, again, very old listed building known as Brook House. We have part of the boundary wall which is showing heavy signs of giving way. You can tell by how far it's pushed away from the pier, which we'll see shortly. You'll see from the other side when we go around shortly how much ground is against it, so you can see why it's pressured, had the pressure against it and unfortunately failed, because typically they wouldn't have been built as they are now. You can see there slightly how far the coping is, and you can see the brickwork is level with the stone coin on that pier. It is pushed from about 8 courses up this way to the roadside. And we have a lovely 3-ton machine and our superstar digger driver Ian excavating the ground from the inside. So we will go and have a look. Lovely old property. Various works going on here. We've got a couple of old timber windows to replace, which I'll show you. Again, going back to similar sketch with the pub. Obviously they're all rotten away. So we've got 2 windows here to change, which is not an easy task because obviously they're old sash windows, but they'll get totally remodelled by the guys at Generation Timber who are doing the Sudborough pub job. Another little job which the client is currently waiting for insurers on. Their feedback is this bay window here has actually dropped and is starting to pull away from the main house. So there's cracking on the inside. Obviously we can see surface cracking here where bits are loose, like that. Various roofing remedials which we have underway by AC Roofing, and we can't get through that way because it's now padlocked. How's your climbing skills, Elijah? These are all my tyre marks from this morning trying to get up the drive. My truck does not like gravel, so made a bit of a mess. So yeah, this is what I was talking about a minute ago briefly, was underneath this existing block paved driveway is a massive old tunnel that used to hold all the casks for the brewery. This house used to be like a brewery serving the local villages pubs. So funnily enough, it's got quite a good link to the Vane Arms, because it probably would have supplied that back in the day. It's quite fascinating under here. Maybe a future project, who knows? Who knows? Summer's never over until it's over. So get the trunks on. Beautiful.
Well, that would you?
No. So obviously here now, as you saw from the front side, all this earth has over the years been pushing against this wall. So it's made the top 8 to 10 courses fail. However, what we're going to do now is excavate the whole area behind the wall, pull that muck away, and then we'll assess it as we go further down. But the thoughts are it will need a new foundation dug and poured, and then what we'll have to do is step some sort of foundation or concrete blocks back up so that the strength's in the, like a pyramid effect, tied into that wall, holding it this way before the earth goes back in. Because inevitably, if we just rebuilt it and sunk all that soil back to it, over the years it will just go again. So we're just going to try and do it properly, which it hasn't been done before. But you can see we've got a lot of tree roots from here, from that big beast, which is not helping. It drags the moisture away, but it obviously also forces pressure against this wall. Yeah. Christ, like Tarzan. So I just thought I'd show you that piece because it's in the village of Sudborough. But the main efforts of today is to just focus on the pub where the flat roof trusses are going on. So let's go.
Well, at least that was the plan for today. It was from this moment on where the listed building shenanigans started to unfold.
Roll on tomorrow when the truck gets cleaned. It's not been able to be cleaned since we've had the new sign writing on. It's the highlight of my week. And as you'll see now, we're progressing heavily. We've obviously stripped most of this low-level building off now because quality was just shocking. Scaffolds down predominantly on the cottage, ready for sandblasting on Friday. So they're going to come in, they're going to blast all the external stone off, which is probably going to then affect most of the jointing. So that'll be another job for the lads, rejointing that, but it'll tidy it all up and make it match in with the new stone up into the gables. So we're looking forward to that. Chaps have stripped the rest of this off, pull this back, and we'll dig a new footing for this front elevation as there was no foundation previously. so we can rebuild back up, make the new doorway, make the new window, and start laying out the new layout for the low level bit. I shall climb up and have a look at the problems.
Man, this is right head scratcher. So, we're right. Ah!
You just penetrated yourself with the scaffold pole.
Oh.
It's like that meme on Facebook where the stall fails and the So obviously here now we are setting out for the low level roof trusses to go on. A few issues, of course, because that's grade 2 listings for you, but as you can see we've got a massive belly along this wall. So where the belly is, we've got a difference of say 200mm setback in the centre, which means obviously we've got to bring everything out to try and get to a level ledger, which is these big hefty timbers to bear the low level roof off of. You can see by the line of the building it's just so far out as to what we'd usually deal with, which would be a nice solid block wall, ledger off it, and then obviously work towards the other end. Then we also have the difficulty of the nice radius that we've got to tend with on the outer side. So we get this side level, and then obviously we've got to work to that radius as well. So it's not easy. We've only got so much tolerance in the box trusses, which is around 295mm, but we're already losing 190mm on this side, so then it tightens everything up tolerance-wise to within 100mm across, say, 7 metres. So it's not ideal. So we're just thinking of solutions to bring us to a total straight line.
This issue really did turn into a bit of a head scratcher, and with the rain forecasts on the way, this wasn't an ideal time to be having roofing issues.
So the problems you have got is, as anything with an old building, you've got to line the steels up to support the stone building above. The stone building above is never going to be absolute parallel or straight. So the reason the steels are off canter is because that's the main point underneath. It's at a point underneath where it's taking the most bearing of the stone above. So you're never going to get them straight. If you put them straight, you're actually bearing more to one side of the stonework above it, so it's not taking the load that it's meant to take, and that's why you've got this issue. So it's not as straightforward as, yeah, just build a straight line. Obviously this is all just backfill in solid blue engineers and block work above the steel to meet the stonework that didn't crumble and fall out. But yeah, it's easy as a third party to say we should have just built a straight wall, whereas you can't build a straight wall to support something that isn't straight, basically. So that's where the fun begins. And then, like you say, you come across all quirky bits like this, you know, just random bits of timber that are in, that are, you know, that's all pretty much dry rot. But again, you don't disturb that, because how do you disturb that without literally just taking down the whole elevation of stone and rebuilding? You can see the new joists are starting to go in the red brick building. Nice new webbed posi joists. However, 2 issues we came across in here was this is now a new structural blockwork wall, because the brickwork the other side was only single skin and it was bowing at the top. So we've had to now build this full blockwork structural wall up and tie it to the brickwork to give us that strength, which has helped because it's given us a perfect fix in for the ledgers for the joists in this area, which have now been threaded bar, bolted and resined in. And then going over to the other side, which had the existing brickwork in, which was double skinned but very weak. Again, you can see now we've had to put almost a course of blockwork in to take the ledgers, rather than going into that brickwork, which was just not going to hold, basically, to take the loadings. So it's definitely nice to see some works going back in. Features like the oak beam we've kept in place, which will sit just below the ceiling line. That will get treated. It's good to see starting to put stuff back together.
400mm, and then we dowel it into the existing pad we've already got.
Yeah.
And then we fill it up, we go down to the same depth that'll be holding.
Oh yeah, it'd be more than enough with the mesh in it as well.
Alright. Yeah, 3 say from the wall.
We won't even have to have fibres because we've got.
So tell me how to do groundworks.
I will tell you how to do groundworks. We've got the concrete order, which is already RC35, haven't we? Yeah?
Yeah, spot on.
Mother's meeting, mate. Talking about this bloody low level roof again. Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
But the weight will be taken by the goalpost.
Oh, okay.
The things I have to do for YouTube. I'll just set that there. Job done. It's just one of them weeks. It's not the one. It's raining. It's cold. We've got problems at Sudborough. We've dropped a load of bricks. This isn't the week for us, I'm afraid. but we always have a solution. Yes, getting too old. Still as old, and this project is aging me even more. So we will show you some problems that we've got in regards to the low level roof. But as I say, I think we've solved it. 'Cause I'm the master.
The original plan was to include this whole section within this video. However, there's quite a bit of detail involved, so we'll save that all for the next episode. In the meantime, let me show you some more straightforward work going on inside the cottage.
We're keeping in the dry. We're now in the cottage part of the pub renovation job. As you've seen before, we have now laid the floor, concrete floor, with the reinforced strip footing that we had to do for the structural stud work to go up. So the guys have lasered it all this morning, worked out the heights. You can see the pencil line probably clearer on that plaster there, is what's the top of the joists, the finish height. And then on the floor here, again, they've marked out for the 4x2 structural stud work to go up. So we'll basically be building a timber frame inside of this cottage. The reasons for that is all the old joist layouts used to run that way, and they've also run this way. And as you can see from the walls, all they used to do was punch into the wall set out. As we've seen in previous videos, we've got a rubble filled cavity here. So when you punch a hole into the stone, all it is just backfills with crap that was basically put in the cavity over the years and years ago. So to get over that now and to make the building last, yes, we're going to lose a bit of width, but we're going to build a full structural timber frame basically inside so that the joist hangers can sit onto that structural timber frame. Yet again, you know, it's about longevity of the project. We could have quite simply just punched the holes back in and reset the joists off, but the client wants to do it properly, which is very nice. We've got triple studs to go underneath the oak trusses up the top. So typically, obviously, you want it to come off of the floor more so, but obviously we've got this beam in the way for this position, just how it's worked out for setting out the oak trusses above. So what we'll do is we'll set the triples in off of this beam, and then we'll put 2 more studs to take the weight and to support it either side of the beam. So now I've got to shoot off another site survey. I'll leave the guys to it and we will catch up shortly.
As we mentioned, our next episode will be solving all the issues and fully completing this flat roof section on the pub. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. And if you're desperate to see some more action from the pub, head over to our other social channels and we'll catch you in the next one.